my former House colleague, Bob Walker, the former congressman from Pennsylvania. Bob, you talked earlier about the theory of greenhouse gases. There's no theorizing about greenbacks. How much money has been spent combating so-called climate change?
Well, it amounts to the billions, and it's not only been spent by the United States government and private entities in the United States, it's being spent all over the world, and this is money that otherwise could be going into investments and actually into real climate research. I'm in favor of real climate research. I co-authored one of the first bills saying that we ought to be looking at the climate because it does have impact on everybody from agriculture to all of us in everyday lives. So there's a need to be looking at research. The problem is that what they have done is they have set up a political framework on this, and then what they did was they cherry-picked the science that they wanted to have done in order to make their theory work for the politics.
Bob, as we're looking at melting ice caps right now on the screen, you talk about cherry-picking the research. How do you think the research should be conducted?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, when you take melting ice caps, there's no doubt that there has been some reduction in the ice pack at the North Pole, but at the South Pole, the ice pack has actually been increasing. And so, you know, the Earth has always had varied patterns in climate. And the fact that the Earth is made up of so much water is one of the reasons why climate has to have some relative position with regard to the ocean and atmospheric interface. And that's what they have ignored in cherry picking all of this science. They have tended to ignore that because they don't have very good data from that.
And continue with this situation, Bob, about 30 seconds left. If it's not climate change, then what causes some of the wild weather events we've seen?
Well, it can be naturally occurring. I mean, right now we're entering into a period where there's going to be considerable sunspot activity. That has an impact on the Earth's climate. Changes in the temperature of the ocean can have a dramatic impact on climate. And so a lot of what we see are naturally occurring phenomena.
Fair enough. Bob Walker, former congressman from Pennsylvania, we thank you for your time, sir, to address climate change or the lack thereof. Let's talk now about the political climate. Continuing our countdown to the midterms, let's take a look at the race for governor in Wisconsin from our Newsmax election team.
The Wisconsin gubernatorial race has the GOP hanging on to the edge of their seats. That's because the incumbent Republican Scott Walker's bid for re-election isn't just about 2014, it's about 2016. Walker is toying with the idea of a presidential run, but his first-term agenda, particularly limiting the collective bargaining rights for state employees, did not sit well with some voters. So much so, opponents organized a recall. He survived, the only governor ever in U.S. history to do so. His victory set a policy precedent for Republicans. Next challenge is to get past Democratic gubernatorial rival Mary Burke. Burke is keeping this race extremely close. A major point of contention, jobs. Everywhere she goes, Burke is quick to point out Walker didn't deliver the jobs he promised during his 2010 campaign. Walker ran on a pledge to create 250,000 jobs in the Badger State during his 4 years in office. Didn't happen. Still, Wisconsin's employment numbers are better than the national average. Burke says her jobs plan reaches across the aisle, and if she wins, jobs will be the first thing she sits down with Republicans to discuss.
And be sure to join us here on Newsmax TV Election Night for our special live coverage of the midterms. You Decide 2014.